It is insane how long I've been telling people we're going to open a bar here.
Right. Look, some things happen at the Quinn Fun Family Farm, and we've had to hit the dispensaries a little bit lately.
So it seems to be industry-wide. The experiment of self-checkout and robotic cashiers is failing. This one has a lot of hair. This one has a normal amount of hair. It's Pat and Alex. This one was born in Raytown. This one lives in Raytown. They opened a store in the pandemic, and this is a show about it. Hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle. Here is the show.
It's all about me. You ready?
Yep.
Hello and welcome back to Hustle and Bustle. I'm Pat.
I'm Alex.
Man, what a busy time of year it is around here when you're not stomping snow off your feet, you're running a rugby event or watching the Chiefs or doing 7,000 other things. It's that time of year, man. Or trying to get your headphones on.
I know, I said I was ready and then immediately was not ready.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, it's This is about a good representation of my life right now. Just a bit tangled. It's hard to figure the fuck out.
That sounds about right. I tell you what, if it weren't for the Kansas City Chiefs, living here at this time of year would be fucking unbearable.
Yeah.
It's like, lost a car last week to the winter weather. 2 accidents that were not my fault in winter weather on the way home from work in like back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Did the vibe in. She did not survive. So I'll be getting a new car. It's also stupid cold.
Yeah, unbelievably cold. And I feel like we've had cold days before, but it feels long.
Yeah.
I'm over it, but it's not over with us. We still got a few more weeks.
You got Colson in the house in the parking lot where I used to live, crawling underneath the crawl space with the space heater to unfreeze the pipes.
Yeah, there was a good 24 hours that I didn't have any water.
Also, Colson, maybe don't build snowmen in the middle of 2 parking spaces in a parking lot, because those take a while to melt and no one can park there now.
They'll be there for a while.
Yeah, those are melting naturally. I tried to knock one down today and
probably a lot more ice than snow by now.
Yep, so we're down 2 parking spots thanks to Colson and Katie's snowmen. Thanks for that. No, it is brutal. The weather is outrageous and I don't like it one bit. But the Chiefs are playing, which makes it slightly bearable because there's something to look forward to. Like, I don't know. How do you live in New England? I guess they have basketball. They have the Celtics. We have nothing. Once the Chiefs are out of the playoffs, it's just hell until March.
You say, how do you live in New England? Well, they've had 2 decades of
Not anymore. They just had to get rid of their coach.
Yeah, that's really weird. That might be like the new Lions.
Yeah.
Which is just... It sounds like blasphemy, but
yeah, Chiefs are fixed now.
Yeah, I think we're back. That was a fun game to watch. Mahomes looked on point. Everyone was catching,
except for Travis.
Kelsey.
Yeah, he dropped a few.
But it's cold as fuck out there. You know,
yeah.
That was the one game where I would have excused.
What would it have taken to get you to go to the game last week?
Ooh, so Carolyn and I played this game. She said I
had a free club level ticket and didn't go.
We were
at club level, which means you're inside if you want to be.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Still, though. I mean, just traversing there and back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably do it for $1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Someone paid you $1,000, you would have gone to the game.
Yeah, anything less than that, I would have stayed at home.
Did you see those Buffalo Bills idiots shoveling the stadium?
Yeah. Dude, okay, so I saw...
Did you see them also sliding down the stairs during the game?
One of them with his shirt off.
Yeah.
So they were clearly drinking a lot.
Yowza.
And I made that connection because I'd seen a bunch of videos, and then I saw one time-stamped, and it was like at 3:05 a.m. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
They were shoveling?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Like, some of them were getting there at 10 o'clock at night. Like, they were still recruiting people.
Oh, my God.
Just insanity.
That's not even worth it there. I don't understand it at all. Anyways, yep. Coming up, announcements. Midnight Madness coming up very soon, February 3rd. Get your party pants on, 8 to 1 a.m. at the Kansas City Soccer Dome. $5 entry fee. That's a steal of a deal because you got a huge vendor market, over 20 vendors. Tell the folks about the vendor market, Alex.
Hell yeah, we got a whole soccer field that we've emptied out that we're going to be filling full of vintage dealers, and it'll be right next to a bunch of live music, food, a full bar. We'll have live sports entertainment because it'll be right next to Midnight Madness.
Yeah, baby.
So it'll be the most entertaining vintage market you've been to yet, if not the highest quality.
Absolutely. The Real Chief, lovely local rapper, one of my absolute favorite performers. So if you haven't heard him, I think he's dope, and he's a really good performer, really cool guy, so you should come check him out just for that. And then Midnight Madness coming together. We got teams like Tulsa, the Dub Club out of Warrensburg, K-State, Alliance. Looks like the Blues are going to be re-entering, maybe St. Louis University, so it's all starting to come together. Midnight Madness, February 3rd, 8 to 1. Kansas City Soccer Don't be there, be square. And then we're going to have a fill-a-bag sale Sunday, February 18th. What the is a fill-a-bag sale?
From what I gather, our good buddy Jackson is kind of
Martin City Thrift.
Yeah, from Martin City Thrift is kind of teaching us the ropes. But you have a pile of clothing, like if you are a picker.
We're gonna throw a bunch of clothes in there.
You're not
some good stuff, some mid stuff.
It's good clothing, you know.
Yeah,
some fire, some mids. But the idea is we'll give you a grocery sack, and you can purchase that bag for $20 and stuff, however many clothes you can fit in it.
Yep.
That's probably a little over-explained. But yeah, you have a bag, you fill it with clothes, you pay $20, you walk out with the bags. Pretty cool.
Yep. And then we'll be doing that February 18th, Sunday, February 18th. We'll look for some marketing on that. And then also in March, we're going to be doing a little vintage house party. We're calling it a house party because it's all indoors because it's still going to be cold in March, with also a little potluck. Bringing back the potluck in March. It's potluck season again. So look out for that as well. I guess that's all the announcements around the water cooler. What's been popping up on your around the water cooler? So dispensaries. We both had to go.
Yeah.
Look, some things happened at the Quinn Fun Family Farm, and we've had to hit the dispensaries a little bit lately.
So it was rough. A couple of months ago, I had to toss a whole crop, and so now we finally hit the gap where I just didn't have any weed.
Yeah.
So we visited the local dispensaries, and I have to say. Well, let me pretext this with, I'm not faulting anybody. I know the system is difficult to work around and everyone's learning, but was not impressed at all by any of the things that were available to purchase legally.
Really? You didn't think the weed was good, or you didn't like the variety, or what? To be more specific.
The weed wasn't bad. It was good. It wasn't great. And the prices and selection weren't great, and I don't like the process. So I've been buying from the dispensary since it's been legal, but I did it quite a bit the last few weeks, so I've gotten a good chance to review it.
Right.
To compare it, it's like if you go out to a bar, it's really not that big of a deal to buy a $6 beer. You know, especially if you're at a brewery, $6 beer, yummy, it's good. But if you were to go to a liquor store and buy a 6-pack where each bottle was $6, you'd be like, this is overpriced.
And that's what you feel like at a dispensary.
That's what you feel like at a dispensary, is you're buying weed that should be kind of like at an event or venue price at the liquor store price. Or at a liquor store venue. So I think it's a bit overpriced. I don't like how I can't choose the weed. I would say,
what do you mean you can't choose the weed?
I want a strain, but then
you want to pick the nug.
Yeah, they just give you a jar, so you can't even see what you're buying.
Oh, Mr. Bulky's weed, where you could go and fill your own bag.
Yeah, that would be sick as fuck.
That would be awesome.
I'm sure there's all kinds of health regulations to prevent that.
Totally not going to be legal ever, but sounds sweet.
Yeah, and then to buy anything more than an eighth, so if you wanted to buy a quarter, all that was available for a couple of
it gets way worse.
Popcorn bud.
Yeah. So
it's just if you want to buy a case of beer, your only option's Bud Light.
Right.
And it's what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I say I was going to go off on them a little bit more, but the only reason I was buying was because I messed up my grow. And then this morning I had another mishap where I had all of my granddaddy perp plants, they hermed on me. So they started making pollen sacs. So I had to cut them all down. So there's another problem in the garden. I get it. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to make it quality all the time. But it was just interesting. I'm excited to see where they take it from here because there's lots of room for improvement.
I mean, I would say most people pre-weed were just like, beer is beer and I'll take beer, right? Like, I'm buying a sack of weed. Most people couldn't discern this is good weed, this is bad weed. Maybe they would get like a different dealer and they would be like, all right, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Basically, if you wanted a sack of weed prior to there not being a black market, you were happy with it just being a sack of weed. And you had very little autonomy or decision-making power to decide what was in that sack.
And in college, I drank like $15 handles of vodka as well.
Just whatever's got alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're stupid, ignorant, dumb. You don't know what's good.
Yeah.
So that's
but okay. Now that there's like dispensaries and there are choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're pretty picky about it.
Like I know.
I think it's fun that when you can go to the dispensary that you can even choose. Like the concept that you can be like, I want this and it's going to give me a different kind of high or experience. Mm-hmm. That's exciting because like I'm not used to it. I'm just used to here's just a sack of whatever you're going to get.
That is cool.
But yeah, so it was kind of, that was like the upside of doing that was you got to like bounce around and try different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the downside is it's like wildly expensive. You have to buy it in tiny batches, and it's just fucking inconvenient.
Yeah,
I mean it's convenient, but also inconvenient.
So I'm still excited for it all. I love it all. I love.
Do you tip at dispensaries?
No, I'm a big non-tipper.
I feel gross not tipping when it's presented to me, but it doesn't make sense.
There's been a couple times
they do almost nothing.
Where if the person, like, I'll say, like, what are you smoking on? What's your favorite? What's new? You know? Because, like, I smoke a lot, so I can tell when people know what they're talking about. And there's been a couple times where someone's like, well, hey, man, what are you looking for? And then, like, they'll break a couple things down for me. And then, like, I said, well, maybe I want to go with this. And he was like, you don't want to go with that. It's good, but the batch we got in, you're not going to be impressed. So, like, I tipped that guy.
Yeah.
He ushered me to a good product.
Yeah.
But some people have no idea what the hell they're doing. They're just a cashier, which is fine, but I'm not going to tip you. Speaking
of cashiers, they might be back.
Yeah.
So you found an article to stand against the momentum of self-checkout.
It seems to be industry-wide. The experiment of self-checkout and robotic cashiers is failing. Hasn't passed the test.
Why?
A few reasons. A lot of it's customer feedback. People are pretty vocal. They're not a big fan of it.
So people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. About time my grumpiness fucking had some dividends.
Theft skyrocketed.
Oh, dude, I saw one. There is it's like one of these Moms for Liberty people who's like on a school board or some elected official. I hate that this shit comes across my feed because it's just political hate porn. You know what I mean? The fact that the only reason I know about it is because she's in Moms for Liberty, and the fact like
I don't even know what that is.
That makes me mad. It's like the people that like
don't tell me.
Take books out of schools. Anyways, like. She had some deal at Target where they had her on camera over like a month and a half, racking up, doing this several times. So like it blew my mind. All right, so here's the deal. Moms for Liberty did a bunch of protests against Target.
Okay, yeah.
Saying like don't go to Target because they're too woke or something. So I don't know if Target's like, all right, well, fuck this bitch. We're going to get her. And so then they like built a case on her for a month. Or if like Target's building cases on people for a month just cuz. Like, if they've got facial recognition, because the way I read the article, they would have had to facially recognize this woman, identified that she was self-checking out, and then like had multiple times that she had been shoplifting. How could they compile that unless they had human beings actively watching this one person because there was a motive, or because they had AI watching her and were able to facially recognize her?
Well, maybe it does take that much evidence. Like maybe one or two instances.
Like could Hy-Vee, because like literally, like I'm just sports coding. If there's a football game and there's 50 people that play in a football game. Mm-hmm. You can now have, if you pay enough, have software that shows me number 55 every time he was in a play. Show me.
Yeah.
Could Hy-Vee pull up Pat Clifton, customer number, beep, 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 show me every time he's been in here?
Google Photos does that, where anytime anybody in our family, now we can elect whether the photos we take are automatically uploaded or not, but they get sent to our family photo album, and Google categorizes them by who's in the photo.
Yeah.
And it will even... Like, there's photos where I'll be like, I'm not in this. And then I'll see, like, it'll be like a rugby picture, and I'm on the other side of the field in the background, half turned.
Yeah.
And it'll still know it's me.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it gets it wrong, but, like, that's already out there, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, before, when Caroline and I just started dating, like, the first 6 months, she had an album. We didn't set it up. We didn't name her. We just, like, one day... like said this is Caroline, and then there were hundreds of photos like already in the album.
Yeah, wow.
It's crazy. So yeah, if that's the technology that consumers get, and we're poor as people. Companies are far richer than people. They have way better technology.
Right, but game this out. So grocery stores have to be the number one place where I'd say grocery stores and Walmart are your self-checkouts.
Yeah.
That's where most people interact with it, have to interact with it. And people still buy groceries. They're not buying groceries because there's a self-checkout.
Well, that's...
So, like, is like Hy-Vee or Price Chopper, they're not losing money or profit because of the customer feedback reason. So there's got to be... Is it the theft reason? There's got to be heavier reasons why
it could be customer feedback. Like, yes, you have to eat, so you have to go to a grocery store, but you don't have to. I don't know. Maybe they have data on, because like the rate you check out, I'm sure there's science of the flow of the traffic within your grocery store.
Yeah.
And if you're not checking out enough people quick enough, I don't know. I'm sure they've got data on it.
Yeah.
But maybe it is just opinion. Maybe they care about our opinions that much.
So what's this article? I didn't read the article, obviously, but did you?
I skimmed through it, and there was no action plan. It was just a kind of industry-wide analyzing that no one is succeeding with self-checkouts.
Okay.
They're expensive, they lose you money, and customers don't like them. And so it seems like a no-brainer that they would just go back to the solution that was working for years.
Yes.
But, maybe we're just waiting on AI to do it, I keep seeing that scene from, we brought it up, Matt Damon in, Elysium, where he's having that conversation with the robot cop, and they keep saying, like, your heart rate's too quick. Your facial expression says you're angry. Take this, like, Xanax. And, like, that's going to be self-checkout for sure. It's like, I think you might be stealing. And then, like...
Well, they start popping Xanax out of the self-checkout. People are going to be going to the grocery store a lot more often. Beer was the other note we had.
Yeah, a short little comment. So like I think it was January 1st.
Dry January is a big deal.
Everyone does it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I didn't do sober October. It's always good to take a pause. So it was about 18 days, almost 3 weeks, and had a couple of those Guinnesses that were in the beer last night.
Nice.
And it was so good.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping that like I would not enjoy it as much, but yeah, man, there's just getting work done and having a cold one has got to be top 5 feelings in the world.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's great.
I stopped drinking beer for a long time because of my stomach. I basically created these giant digestive problems for myself because of the way I lost weight. And so I couldn't really drink beer, nothing carbonated. But then I discovered, oh shit, Guinness isn't carbonated. So like in the last month and a half, I have consumed a significant amount of Guinness. I went from drinking no beer for essentially no beer for almost 3 years. Very, very, very occasionally to, man, Guinness tastes great. I like it. I crave a taste of it. Like I want one.
I don't know if I'll ever get there. They were good, but I like a good crisp carbonated.
I'm sure I would too. I used to love them, but Guinness is the one that I can have, and so I'm taking it.
I heard a fact. How many calories are in a Guinness?
I don't know, but it's relatively low carb. I know that.
Maybe that's what it has like less carbs than like a Miller Lite or something.
It's low. It's also relatively low alcohol by volume.
Beer's good.
Beer's good. That's why it's an old people beer. How it's going? We've got a lot going on around here. Let's just break it out for people. We've talked about some of these, but one, we didn't really say an announcement. It sounds like we're going to have a permit to build a bathroom at the end of this week.
Yeah, which is today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday.
That's it. Woo! So by the time people are listening to this, we will be prepping to build out a bathroom, hopefully, which has been a giant 2+ year hurdle.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. In order to build we want to sell alcohol. In order to sell alcohol, we have to meet certain city codes for being able to sell alcohol. Mm-hmm. And one of those codes is we need a bathroom in that back area. And in order to do that to legally, it's really expensive. So you have to hire an architect, you have to hire all these things. And the architect has to have an engineer, and then they have to stamp it, and then you have to go through processes. So basically
well, and then once you have the plans, you can't just go and build it. You have to have people who
have to have a licensed contractor, and all those people have to have not just be a licensed contractor, but also have to have a business license in the city of Raytown.
Yeah.
So a shit ton of paperwork, all this stuff, and that giant paperwork pile, largely because we were idiots, but like we went out and we got bids that were like $6,000 to $9,000 from the architectural firm. Like, we don't have that, and that's like that's just for like the piece of paper with the stamp. Fuck. Then we have to build the bathroom. How are we going to do any of that? And so we got a guy who's going to do it for $1,000. Well, that ran us around in circles for about 10 months, and we never got it done. So parlayed that waste of $1,000 into the greatest favor of all time. My childhood Cub Scout master happens to be retired. I was about to say architect. And he came free and available and retired around the same time and could do the work. And so, bada bing, bada boom, what should cost us upwards of $20,000, $30,000, fingers crossed, if we finish the way we will cost us like, I don't know, $5,000 maybe tops, which is what we can afford. So it's basically just been this giant nightmare, but like, this has been, and I think will be the most expensive, longest hurdle to get over to get to selling alcohol. Now, we don't know that to be true 100%, but we think so. Yeah.
The rest of it, at least, we feel is within our grasp of accomplishing. Like, it won't require specific licenses or knowledge or stamps. Should be gnarly hustleable.
Yeah, gnarly hustleable.
Which is very comforting. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. It is insane how long I've been telling people we're going to open a bar here.
Right. And this bathroom will be the first real, like, significant proof that might actually be the case.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will go a lot faster after that. So our goal and hope is spring, summer, we are selling alcohol and legal to do so here in Raytown and Gnarly Hussle. So that's one giant thing. And then we've also got this big rugby event that we're running, which is not just a rugby event. It's now a vendor event. So that's like eating up a shit ton of our time and is a lot of bandwidth and crazy. Mm-hmm. And then we also are pivoting, and we're going to start selling a lot more consignment in the store. We're just like, you've heard us talk about it here now. It's working. We want to lean into it. And it just makes so much sense when we can get quality clothes sold here at a decent volume that we don't have to shop for when we have to do all these other bazillion things.
Yeah.
That it makes us easier to do those other things better.
And it just like makes sense, like breaking it down from operating a business point of view. Like as business owners, as CEOs, it's not a good business if the CEO is on the sales floor like hanging clothes.
Right.
Because there's more important, more impactful things that, you know, the leadership should be like focusing on and spending time and money on. And I would say, I bet looking back, we'll kind of start to understand how much doing a lot of this grunt work has been like holding us back.
100%.
I heard a quote that like as the founders, the only main responsibility the founder has is to get people aware of the company that they've built.
Yeah.
Because like assuming your product is good, assuming your service is good, assuming your business model is good, it means nothing if no one steps in the door. And so like when we can transition to just purely, or not purely, but mostly marketing and entertainment and just running the company, I think Gnarly Hussle will get cooler. It will get sexier. It will get more fun to like shop in and be around. And just like all these things that we don't get to sit down and analyze because we're so involved in the day-to-day grind. And if we can like offload half of that to people consigning in our shop, I've been thinking a lot about it this morning. It'll be hopefully huge for our productivity, and then as far as like our output, it'll be huge.
Well, you just look at, I mean, I like to reduce things. I think it's a pretty common tactic to reduce stuff, but like if you do it, like, all right, what are we doing if we go into more consignment? We're going to make the product at the store better, right? So like you walk in here, it will be a better vintage store. There will be better clothing to buy for our average customer. You're going to buy time back. So you're going to spend less time and money to make, or spend less time and no more money to have a better product. Mm-hmm. And you're going to, we project, do better, have at least the same amount of profit, if not more.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you improve your product if it's going to cost you less? You know, if it's going to why wouldn't you improve your product if it's going to give you back bandwidth and not take away profit? That would be like, why the fuck would you say no to that?
Exactly.
So we have to lean into that, you know? And I think we just have to be a little bit more agile and fleet-footed. And I think we have the ability to do that now. So anyways, there's a lot going on. So we got like kind of these three major projects. One of them short term and it'll kind of move, but as soon as that rugby one's gone, there's always an event. There's always something going on. And yeah. So life is hectic and crazy, but in a good way. And hopefully soon at Gnarly Hussle, there'll be a lot of cool, crazy shit going on.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going right now. It's crazy busy, but busy in a positive, fun direction. And we got a lot of work to do. So
that's for sure.
We will go do that now. Thank you for joining us here at Hussle and Bustle. Go fucking Chiefs. And we'll see you soon.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Later.